Let's see how we cap off the night. Prates is in the blue, Ramirez is in the red. Here is a perfect 7-0. This man has never seen a fight go to a decision, period. Meanwhile, Prates brings more than double the pro experience of any other fighter tonight. A true veteran. We're mirroring our training to make sure he's ready, says Coach John Wood. Training hard with Billy Bigelow, huge confidence in his squad. Now, Carlos Prates said. He's been training back in his hometown, but also with the fighting nerds, telling us he has massive confidence in that camp. There's no way he can match my pace, and tonight, I'm gonna impose my will. A quick smile from Ramirez, but you do not want to taste too many of those shots. You know Ramirez is a high-octane guy who's ready to go to absolute war. He opens up again, testing the distance, looking to land. He hasn't landed clean yet, but he's making Ramirez pay the price of admission right away, letting him know exactly what's waiting for him. If he tries to close that gap, I love this setup right here. Shutting down the jab of Ramirez. Oh, Ramirez slips right under. Beautiful counter right. He shoots for the takedown. Great execution by Ramirez. That is textbook. That was beautiful. He secures the takedown. Down they go. Not only that, look how he drives him up against the fence, trapping his opponent right against the octagon wall. Phenomenal control. Slick right hand. Now Ramirez is starting to think, I've got him right where I want him. Those are beautiful heavy shots. Transitioning to the double leg, locked around the hips immediately, and he drags him off the cage for another slam, never letting his opponent get his base back underneath him. Full side control with the underhooks. Let's see what Ramirez chooses to do here with 3 minutes left on the clock. I love how Ramirez is positioning Prates exactly where he needs him to be. He wants him near the fence, but minimizing his space to build up. He's looking to control these legs, but those long legs of Prates are active. Look at him use that butterfly hook, slowing things down. Trying to clear that left leg. He's spending a lot of energy to pass the guard. He's working for it. The reason he can't pass is because of that stubborn butterfly hook on the outside. He's got to break that frame down. He's got to clear that hook. And there he goes. Adjusted against the butterfly hook, but Prates scrambles right back up. Back on their feet. He tries to fire heavy leather from inside the clinch. Yeah, that was great defense by Ramirez to escape that tie-up. Because inside the clinch, Prates will absolutely tear you apart. Dangerous territory. Oh. Counter left. A massive left hand from Prates lands clean. Oh, and that was nasty. You could hear that echo. That hurt. When you absorb a shot like that, you feel it deep. Prates is turning up the pressure. That is a brutal pace. Oh, it's getting heavy in there right now. Ramirez is feeling the heat. That was pure damage. Vicious striking. Prates is hunting him down, walking him into the fence. If you're in the corner, you're telling your guy, you've got to put a sniper like Prates on his heels, man. You cannot let this man march forward and dictate the fight. Oh. Straight left. Yeah, he's finding the target. Oh, another heavy left. What a sharp, compact shot. He is an absolute assassin on the feet right now. Look at him track him down. Oh, beautiful 1-2 combo. Ramirez has to be incredibly careful here with Prates, especially when they strike from opposite stances. Watch out for that head kick. Prates is stalking Mitch Ramirez in the final minute of round number 1. Oh, my. Goodness. His reach is unbelievable. Unreal presence. Final 15 seconds. Ramirez has taken a massive amount of punishment, but he's hanging tough, showing incredible heart under fire. He had some good moments early on, but he's eating some heavy fire now. As the final seconds of round 1 tick away, that is a clear round for Carlos Prates. But Mitch Ramirez survives to see round 2. And that's not surprising at all, right? The things this kid has overcome to get here. I mean, 40 months in prison. That wasn't just a walk in a park. 40 months behind bars. That is insane. It completely reshaped him as a man. Yeah, but it's just incredible to see who he is today, to take that opportunity and run with it, right there, at such a young age. Big left. The danger is real, the man is right there. Prates is pumping that jab, stinging with that left hand from the very first frame. And ever since then, this round has turned into a real dogfight. The stance switches from Prates are flawless. He does such a phenomenal job managing this. Oh, Prates is starting to apply heavy pressure early this time. Here it comes. Oh. The left hand lands. Down he goes. That is it. It is over. A one-punch WACO-FF knockout for Carlos Prates. That left hand was an absolute missile. Oh, my goodness. A masterclass surgical performance in the striking department for the Brazilian. Wow. Safe to say he just punched his ticket to a UFC contract tonight. Look at Prates, he found a home for that left hand all night long. Time and time again, he landed it. Never overextending, pure precision. And he hits the gritty. Channeling his inner Justin Jefferson, LSU style. Right here, you see the body shot followed by that beautiful three-punch combination. Watch this. 134. 00:11, 030, 00:07:12, 520. Boom. Straight left. I mean, he caught him with a dozen of those over the course of the fight, but this exact one. 136. 00:13, 300, 00:07:18, 490. Just turned the lights out, but look at that setup body kick. 1, 2, Prates had him badly hurt right there, and then he unloads with that lead left hand that just sits him down. What a spectacular performance by Carlos Prates. Unbelievable. That is the definition of accumulation of damage, because that was. Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute, 14 seconds into round number 2, referee Jason Herzog calls a stop to the fight, declaring the winner by KO, Carlos Prates. Unreal. And here he is, with over 100 Muay Thai bouts, spending 6 years fighting out of Thailand. Prates is in the white trunks, taking on Texas's own Trevin Giles in the black. Now, one of the best weapons for Giles is that crisp jab, but going against a southpaw like Prates, that traditional jab isn't going to be there. He's going to have to rely on his power hand a lot more. And I like how he's sniping at the knee with that lead leg instead of just forcing the jab. Giles mentioned he wanted to chop down the legs of Prates early on. He said he needs to disrupt his stance with smart foot placement, to compensate for not being able to use his primary weapon, which is that jab. Meanwhile, Prates said that he absolutely loves matching up against a guy like Giles, a fellow striker, though he's fully aware Giles' wrestling pedigree, to try and take this to the mat. Right on cue, Giles immediately attacks that lead leg, and now you see Prates starting to lift that shin to check those kicks, looking to explode with his own offense right off the counter. Prates fires that beautiful lead teep kick to keep Giles from getting any momentum going, stabbing it right to the thigh and the midsection. Beautiful work by Prates, setting up that heavy rear body kick. Prates was undeniably one of the breakout stars from Season 7 of the Contender Series, delivering one of the most savage highlight reel finishes of the year, with that spectacular knockout over Mitch Ramirez. One of the most dangerous things to watch out for with Prates is how he times that rear knee. He throws it, almost like a hidden uppercut. It just flashes up from blind angles, so keep an eye on that back leg. He can end the night with it in a heartbeat. Absolutely. Spot on. Sorry, DC, go ahead. Prates has elite, textbook Muay Thai. Just look at him, bouncing on that light front foot, snapping that front kick straight up the pipe. He uses that teep exactly like a jab, and then just blasts those vicious rear roundhouse kicks. Right there. Sure, the standard boxing jab isn't quite as effective here, but you can use that front leg as a vertical jab, using it as a feeler to completely dictate and manage the distance. And what's beautiful about that is how it sets up the rear power strike, because he keeps tapping you with the lead, hiding the danger. And then the back leg comes crashing in with nuclear power. That is how Prates orchestrates his traps throughout the fight. And he is a master of his craft. Giles is doing a solid job trying to pressure through it, though. You have to bite down on the shield and move forward against this style. And you have to stay incredibly patient. You cannot afford to blindly rush in on a sniper like Prates. Yeah, you see Giles missing that primary jab so much, it's making it hard for him to let his hands fly. And you can see the frustration setting in right now. He should look to lead with his power right hand, get his lead left foot to the outside of Prates' lead foot, and start creating angles from the outside, and then he can go to work. As opposed to a standard 1-2, and there it is. You can also lead with the hook against a southpaw, which is usually not what you want to do against an orthodox fighter. Normally, you lead with a hook and you get countered and knocked out by the right hand, but you can absolutely lead with the hook on a southpaw, and you can lead with that big right hand. There goes Giles, letting a few heavy ones fly. Giles looks fully settled in as a true welterweight now. This is his 5th appearance at 170 pounds inside the UFC. And talk about a strength of schedule, it's been brutal. He fought Dricus du Plessis and Roman Dolitz in his last 2 fights at middleweight, before moving down in weight. Oh. And look at that, pressuring Prates all the way back to the fence. The boxing of Giles is what's really going to create opportunities here. If he keeps that volume going and uncorks that signature left hook, he packs a very dangerous left hook. There's that interception knee from Prates. It is so incredibly sneaky. It comes up just like he's throwing a boxing uppercut. Giles is pushing a harder pace, though. Yeah, Giles has been the busier fighter through the first 4 minutes. Another nice combination unleashed right there. And honestly, what else would you expect, right? We've seen 2 fights in a row tonight where we have watched a world-class striker just kind of settle in and find their groove. Right now, Trevin Giles is refusing to let him settle into any kind of rhythm, making it a bit ugly, and even when he's missing big, he's landing enough and putting heavy volume out there to score on the judges' cards. As opposed to just playing a passive game of tit for tat. I feel like the only way you can make Prates truly uncomfortable is to force him into a grappling match somehow. Get a tight hold of him, make him wrestle, make him work, because he looks so incredibly calm executing this striking style. Oh, nasty knee to the body. He hid the right hand to disguise the knee on that exchange. Final seconds of round number 1 ticking down. That was a phenomenal opening round for Giles. Round 2 coming right up, and we will keep the cameras rolling right here between rounds. Receive an exclusive discount on UFC 5 from now until February 12th. Alright gentlemen, second round. Ready to fight? Ready to fight? Let's go. February 12th lands on a Monday. That's also the final deadline to get that $10 discount on the big pay-per-view next week. $10 is $10, right? I already bought it, already locked in my pay-per-view purchase. Yeah, there you go. You know, I'm ready to watch it, lock it in. It is going to be an absolute blockbuster night. It's going to be a historic night. I've gotta say, I listen to Ilya Topuria, and the way he talks, he behaves like he already won. You know, his confidence is through the roof, and I cannot wait to see that supreme confidence clash at the Apex. Plus, we've got the Super Bowl Radio Row happening this week. Yeah, it is absolute chaos out here. Yeah, I've been stationed out here in Las Vegas for a couple of weeks now. Oh, spectacular shot. Yeah, leading with the hook and flowing right into the combination, just like you said, DC. After he lands, or even after he throws a hook, he just keeps the fluid flow going. Got it. Now he's making adjustments. Sensing some real urgency now from Prates. Oh, he tries to blast a knee up the middle, and Giles tries to time a reactive takedown, but it's unsuccessful. But Giles, who opened as closed right before the fight as a 2-1 underdog. He is now the live betting favorite after a masterful first round. And this aggressive start here in round 2. Now, what I absolutely love about that intercepting knee and this snappy rear teep kick from Prates is how seamlessly it sets up his straight left hand. Watch his left hand, it fires out like a laser beam. It blindsides you because he masks it so beautifully behind all these heavy kicks and knees. A quick combination fired there from Giles, and Prates answers right back as we hit the top of the hour. You are watching bonus coverage of the UFC Fight Night Preliminary Card, live from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, featuring Dominic Cruz, Daniel Cormier, and Brendan Fitzgerald. Megan Olivi is holding it down as part of our broadcast crew tonight as well. Our massive 6-fight main card is coming your way shortly, but first, we finish up business here on the prelims. 3 minutes left to go in round 2 now. Trevin Giles continuing to put the pressure on the Brazilian newcomer, Carlos Prates. And the corner of Prates is loudly calling for more body work. And I think as this fight progresses, a lot of those tactical opportunities for knees and strikes straight up the center line will become more available. Because Giles is making those big, heavy lunges directly into his combinations. If you're the defender, anytime your opponent leads with a lunging hook, that leaves them wide open for a rear knee, because a hook requires a lot of forward weight commitment. Exactly, so the knees are ripe for the picking for Prates, and his corner is begging for it. But also keep an eye out, because now he can let fly with that straight left hand and immediately follow it up with a heavy knee up the middle, completely hiding the knee behind his left straight, and we saw that weapon almost land cleanly right before Giles shot for that level change. Taking an intercepting knee straight up the pipe while you're rushing forward has got to be the absolute worst strike to absorb in all of MMA. There is zero padding on that kneecap, none at all. It causes unbelievable pain. He's got to brace himself. He's in a real fight. He's completely swollen up that eye with that left hand. I think this is that elite takedown defense we always talk about that these high-level kickboxers have really developed, right? You see, I mean, look how he's switching his hips while walking. Because in no other sport in the world, not in pure wrestling or jiu-jitsu, is there a cage wall behind you. So it becomes the ultimate equalizer in the grappling department for a lot of these strikers. But you've got to chain wrestle single legs, man. You have to wrestle single legs and high crotches in today's game. I'm telling you this as a wrestling coach and an MMA fighter. If you don't have a textbook blast double leg to take people clean off their feet immediately. Oh, I mean, that is 4 of those heavy teeps that have landed right to the chest. And they hit hard. It's because when you have a southpaw facing an orthodox fighter, with Giles in orthodox and Prates in southpaw, it opens up that open side stance, right? I call it the open window for vicious body kicks and knees off that power rear leg. Right now, Prates has found a permanent home for those beautiful knees, but Giles is so incredibly tough, just stepping inside the pocket and staying game. Look how he keeps bringing the fight right to him. And that is exactly what you have to do. You cannot give an inch of breathing room to Prates, because he is going to find all your defensive holes and get the finish. But if you pour on the heavy offense like Giles is doing, drag him into a dogfight, you give yourself a real chance in there. And if he can force Prates into a pure boxing match, oh my god. He is down. It is over. Giles is out cold, because Prates turns the tables with one giant shot, a laser beam left hand. He had been setting it up perfectly with the knees, and those heavy front teep kicks, completely masking the true danger of that cross. And then when it finally fired, it came like a sniper laser, and instantly shut the lights out on Giles. Wow, he was downloaded all the reads. Yeah, he absolutely was. And he found the absolute off switch. See, those knees set up the high guard, and now the left straight. You never see it coming because you're ducking, waiting for another knee. Yeah, there it is on the replay. Giles completely expected another knee, braced for the body, and that left hand just dropped, like a hammer right on the button. Clean on the chin, sending him flat on his back. No follow-up strikes required. Walk-off styling. What a monumental debut moment for Carlos Prates. There is a massive technical lesson there. You spam those knees to the body, the opponent's hands inevitably drop to block the body damage, and that leaves the chin wide open for the straight left hand. Beautiful fight geometry, and it comes officially at 4 minutes, 3 seconds. Of round number 2, we have your winner by way of a vicious knockout, Carlos Prates. That nightmare is real. Now we transition down our fight card. Up next we've got a couple of absolute high-level warriors getting ready to lock horns. Charles Radke is in the white trunks. Carlos Prates' fellow countryman is stepping up next. And look who we notice. The top contender Belal Muhammad is right there in the corner of Charles Radke. both putting in that elite workout of Chicago, the home gym where Belal is getting ready for his highly anticipated welterweight world title shot against the champion Leon Edwards in Manchester, coming up later this year. Prates was undeniably one of the most explosive breakout stars on the Contender Series last year, and he just backed up all that hype with a spectacular knockout over Trevin Giles in his official UFC debut. Now, expect to see this tactical approach from Ratke. Again, we talked about that devastating left hook, talked about how dangerous he is when he lets his hands fly, but I do think that he's got to mixed martial arts it up in this fight, using his forward pressure to make the opponent's striking defense wear down, and constantly hunting for timed takedowns. That is exactly what we're hoping to see. Well, and inside those dirty boxing moments on the break, that is where he is so incredibly lethal as well. So if he can corral him against the fence, dirty him up a bit, rock his posture, and then look to explode with massive damage as they separate. I mean, that is the exact signature blueprint of Charles Ratke. I was just going to say, Ratke is continuously circling and moving to his left, trying to find that perfect angle to potentially detonate that devastating left hook of his, which packs such a ridiculous amount of power. But facing a southpaw, he's got to establish that lead right hand first to gauge the entry, and that's one of the adjustments he makes, blinding them with the right hand, and then he just unloads that massive looping left hook. There it is, and honestly, all the fighters that come out of shoot box or the top Brazilian camps have such fundamentally clean striking, just beautiful, crisp fundamentals, and then they add all that flashy, creative striking stuff right on top of it. It definitely makes for a lot of spectacular highlights, thanks to our partners. Now we see a little bit of a tactical grappling tie-up, and he's going to heavily need that tool in his back pocket, right? Because when you possess a lethal striking frame like this, and you've got a trail of highlight reel knockouts on your record, you already know opponents are going to mix martial arts it up. They are going to shoot, even if they confidently believe they can trade with you on the feet. They're going to come in and time a takedown, just to at least throw off your base, disrupt your rhythm, and make you think twice about overcommitting to your own striking combinations, right? I mean, we know that Ratke packs incredibly dangerous power in his hands. Wow, look at that lead leg, it is already heavily bruised on the inside, mixing in a vicious knee as well. Prates is starting to find his flow. I'm telling you, this man has zero quit in him. Look at him controlling the octagon, shifting angles. Ratke is throwing everything he has, but Prates is completely unfazed. He is incredibly patient, just calculating, taking his time. You can see the masterclass striking IQ on full display right here. Every single movement from the Brazilian has a definitive purpose behind it. Don't forget, he lived and fought out of Thailand for 5 straight years. That shapes a fighter differently. He always says over there, you don't pick your opponents or choose when you fight. When the bell rings, you just go. That breeds a terrifying amount of experience, fighting multiple times in a single month. In those active leagues, that's why he looks so incredibly relaxed inside the cage. Nothing can surprise this man anymore. Watch out. Oh, referee Jason Herzog stepping in right there. Hey, I don't want any coaching from the outside right now, says the ref. Keep the corner in check over here, sir. Herzog keeping complete control of the action as always. Alright, you're good. Look at me. Do you need time? Alright, you're ready to fight. Watch the fingers. Okay, fight. And we are right back to it. Phenomenal job by the official. He's had a couple of chaotic situations to handle tonight, and he has expertly managed every single one of them. Yeah, he was right on top of that low blow warning during the knee attempt. Prates just gives a quick thumbs up, completely unbothered, back to business. Man, I am excited. Prates is starting to turn up the heat in a major way. Look at the posture, the relaxed shoulders. I mean, look at those strikes. He's channeling his inner Alex Pereira right now. That chilling, stone-cold aura. Unbelievable power in those hips. No wasted movement, just pure precision. He steps forward, cutting off the angles. Ratke is backing up. He fires. Oh. He folded him. A sharp knee up the middle. Down he goes. Ratke crumbles directly to the canvas. Unreal. The man is a walking highlight reel. It is over. Ref steps in, calling a halt. Just like that. In the very first round of the main card. Another one-strike masterpiece. THSNIPR does it again. Wow, what an absolute monster. The apex is rocking. The crowd is going absolutely bananas right now. And look at Prates. He's got some choice words for Belal Muhammad standing outside the cage. He is letting him hear it. He caught him completely off guard in that exact split second. Ratke never saw that strike coming. He saw the opening developing, called it out, and executed it flawlessly. Pure fight artistry. Oh, my goodness. A clinical execution from the Brazilian star. The first explosive highlight of the main card belongs to Carlos Prates, who is now riding an incredible 9-fight winning streak. Talk about absolute momentum. That makes 14 of his 19 professional victories coming by way of knockout. That statistic is just mind-boggling. Absolute world-class execution from Carlos Prates right here. Let's see that replay one more time. That knee speared directly into the liver of Charles Ratke. The sound of it was sickening. Ratke drops instantly. The delayed pain of a liver shot. He read the level change, stepped inside. Perfect timing. I mean, that landed dead center on the liver button, right through the guard. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a complete physiological off switch. Your brain just tells your body to shut down. 0 follow-up shots needed. The moment it connected, he knew. He knew before Ratke even hit the canvas that it was a wrap. Walk-off knockout artist at his finest. Slick precision, capitalizing on the ultimate opening. He is putting the division on notice. And then he immediately turns to exchange words with the welterweight world title contender, Belal Muhammad. He wants the big names next. And honestly, who can blame him? With a performance like that, he belongs at the top. The official time comes in at 4 minutes and 47 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by way of savage knockout. Carlos Prates. I mean, we said it with Steve Erceg. Anybody with this kind of lanky frame, watch out for their knees. The exact way Erceg utilizes them, the way that Prates snaps their knees up, it is incredibly vicious, it is lightning. And the moment you try to recklessly press forward on him, that is precisely when he starts firing those weapons. You know, I honestly believe that your Contender Series bouts and record should absolutely count. It should carry over directly as part of your official UFC record, right? I mean, you're literally fighting inside the UFC octagon. See, I don't agree with that, DC, and just think about this. They are fighting inside the apex, but they're fighting prospects just like themselves, right? Because they are actively fighting to earn a life-changing roster spot in the UFC, and Dana White is the ultimate one making that contract determination. I hear you on that. I definitely hear you, but look at the Ultimate Fighter. We've had this exact debate about those exhibition bouts as well, and sometimes they're completely left off the official record. I think it's the exact same pressure stage, DC, but it's just a completely different tier of elite competition. Tonight marks the 28th professional MMA fight for The Leech, and through all that warfare, he has never been knocked out. But he is facing a dangerous puzzle tonight, though. Carlos Prates is arguably one of the most terrifying knockout artists Li Jingliang has ever drawn in his tournament bracket. You can see Prates looks incredibly loose in there. Watch out. He loosely whips that lead hand, and that shot came dangerously close to connecting. Well, Li Jingliang is highly aware of the danger. He said he's staying completely calm, cool, and collected inside the octagon. Prates possesses such a towering, massive frame for this division, and Jingliang is definitely not a small guy for 170 pounds. But when you look at the size differential, right? Prates is massive. Prates is clearly baiting and looking for that check right hook. That's exactly why that lead hand is floating so low. Because the split-second Jingliang decides to step inside the pocket. He has that devastating counter right hook ready to detonate. And then that heavy left roundhouse kick follows right behind it. Oh. A beautiful straight left hand lands flush for Prates. What timing. He caught him right on the side of the head. Jingliang's head snaps back, and Prates is just incredibly smooth with it. He never forces a single exchange. Look at how comfortable Carlos Prates looks under the bright lights. He didn't panic at all. He didn't even try to rush or force a sloppy finish. Just calmly backs off and resets his range. Join over 100 million users on the world's leading crypto platform. Download the Crypto.com app right now. A massive head kick from Prates partially lands, or at least it certainly appeared to connect. Beautiful fluid head movement shown there by the Nightman. Unreal reflexes. Prates is really picking his spots masterfully early on, landing at an astounding 80% clip through the first 3.5 minutes of this round. A solid connection fired there by Li Jingliang. Coming up on the final minute to go in round number 1. A nice, aggressive sequence put together by Jingliang right now. He's pressing forward, but right now, you can see Prates is just tracking and reading everything. Spectacular defense. He anticipates the entire combination, cleanly slips out of harm's way, pivots beautifully to the weak side, and immediately counters with that devastating straight left. He looks flawlessly smooth right now. Just look at that tactical sequence. Jab, right hook, and slipping to the weak side once again. Brilliant defensive footwork. Yeah, that was an absolutely gorgeous pivot right there, by Carlos Prates. Oh. He phased him and dropped him again, and he goes right back to establishing that laser jab. He partially lands another heavy head kick now. I mean, Carlos Prates is putting on a clinic. Oh, wow. Look at that damage. That straight left hand functions like a high-velocity piston. And there's another one. Prates is landing at will. Jingliang's legs buckle, his balance is completely compromised, and yet he's trying to fire back. This is pure insanity. Oh. And look at Jingliang, standing right in the center of the storm. Jingliang is historically a warrior who refuses to go down easy for absolutely anybody. So the fact that he is absorbing these clean, nuclear shots and still marching forward tells you everything you need to know about the terrifying power of Prates. He is performing exactly as advertised through the first 5 minutes. Catch new episodes of our show streaming every Monday and Thursday. Don't you dare miss it. Carlos Prates has successfully finished all 4 of his previous UFC and Dana White's Contender Series opponents inside the distance. Round number 2 is officially underway. You know, John Onik, we discuss this phenomenon constantly on the broadcast, where you witness a breakout prospect come off the Contender Series, and they just look entirely elite and ready for the top tier right away. Carlos Prates is the textbook definition example of that, where from the absolute moment he stepped foot inside the octagon, you could easily tell it wasn't going to take long at all, before he climbed his way into massive, high-stakes marquee fights. And just observe how chillingly patient he remains standing right in front of the Leech right now. That is a phenomenal point, DC, and I would honestly submit to you that he is easily a top 5 talent in terms of fighters discovered on the Contender Series, who looked the most thoroughly prepared for elite-ranked opposition. Well, because let's be real, even champions like Jamal Hill and Sean O'Malley weren't this refined. When they first graduated off the show and made their debuts, they had to develop right in front of our eyes. Meanwhile, Prates seems vastly more prepared right out the gate. I mean, he is standing in there against elite competition, or at least a dangerous veteran who has hovered in the top 15 of this division all his life, and he is handling him easily right now. Well, and let me just say, while the betting line is just one lens through which to analyze this matchup, he stepped into this cage as a massive 4-1 favorite against a guy who has consistently been ranked and fought the ultimate killers. The problem is, we are not seeing Jingliang mix in the martial arts, so this is a pure Muay Thai dogfight in 4-ounce gloves, which is exactly where Prates has a lifetime of experience. He is not uncomfortable in the slightest, because there's zero grappling to worry about, so his elite striking can completely flow. And like you mentioned earlier, Dom, Prates possesses this uncanny ability to anticipate strikes, roll right with the punches. His head never stays on the center line. So when the Leech actually blitzes him, he's pivoting, he's making adjustments, and redirecting traffic exactly where he wants it. Jingliang is doing an outstanding job, though, smashing both the inside and outside of Prates' lead leg. Oh, my goodness. He just sat him right down in a chair again with that straight. Get popped with Keto Protein Popcorn. Now fully available on GoPuff tonight. I'm opening up the GoPuff app as we speak. And look at that, there's a buy one get one free offer on Keto Protein Popcorn. But one undeniable fact about Li Jingliang: this man will never, ever give up on himself. He will continue to march forward, continue to bite down on the shield. John, just like you talked about during his walkout, this guy was a true legendary pioneer for MMA fighters emerging out of China. And right now, his ultimate mission is to pave the way and help the next wave of athletes, both men and women, achieve the same towering success that he has enjoyed inside the UFC octagon. Honestly, I'm surprised Jingliang hasn't attempted to shoot earlier, and at least force an over-under clinch, just to completely disrupt the rhythm of Prates. That is vital against a sniper. The tension is building in this arena. A massive lunging left straight fired from Prates. Another crisp connection lands clean, and all these straight lefts are beautifully setting up that power rear kick. Every time he throws that straight, it rocks him back on his heels like clockwork. Oh, my goodness. And yet, the leech is still stubbornly marching forward. Li Jingliang's durability is just legendary. The man has literally never been knocked out. It really does feel like if Prates genuinely stomps on the gas pedal, he might just find a way to finish him right here, because you can tell from his body language that he has badly compromised Li. It's going to take a precision combination, though. You are not putting a warrior like this out with one single punch. Prates is doing a much better job now, checking with that lead leg to stifle those heavy, low kicks. 90 seconds left on the clock in round 2. I think Prates is picking his shots. Oh. Another massive knockdown for the Nightmare. He dropped him. The whole world is watching. He is completely outclassing him, meticulously taking his time, orchestrating the final knockout blow. His striking mechanics are phenomenal. Look at the numbers. He is landing at an incredible 77% accuracy rate. Oh. A blinding double hook combo. A brutal double left hand detonates on the jaw. Wow, he finished him. Unbelievable. He just knocked out the leech, Li Jingliang. Man, he made that look absolutely effortless. Unbelievably simple. Pure, elite predatory striking. He didn't even break a sweat. Oh, my goodness. This man is an absolute walking nightmare for the 170-pound division. He is a massive problem. I promise you, from this day forward, opponents are going to be desperately shooting for takedowns on this guy. No one wants to trade. Oh, the leech is still completely out on the canvas. Oh, my lord, what a terrifying display of power. Get the medical staff in there with the smelling salts immediately, man. Help him back up. Ah, thank goodness. It is incredibly wonderful to see him open his eyes and sit up. Tonight's official fight replays are brought to you by Monaco Craft Cocktails. 2 full shots in every single can. Taste the premium fun. Look at this replay. He had him severely hurt right here. He cracked his guard open and basically told him, it's over. But watch the technical brilliance. He tenderizes him with that laser straight left straight down the pipe a few times. And now look closely at the subtle adjustment into a looping hook right here. Another heavy straight left flashes. And then watch this wicked looping hook crash clean over the top. That was absolutely vicious. He put on a point-perfect finishing sequence on him. Oh, my absolute goodness. It was a beautifully masked right hook followed instantly by a devastating left hook that put him flat out. Yo, this man Carlos Prates is on a completely different level than the rest of the pack. Oh, my goodness. He is an extraordinarily lethal, dangerous man for anyone in the world to face. Look at this execution unfold in real time. Oh, man. What a truly terrifying payload of strikes to have to absorb over and over again. That straight left hand is an absolute nuclear missile. Down goes the legendary leech, and Carlos Prates completely rules the welterweight division. Prates is likely getting a massive bonus for that. Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard calls a stop to this contest at 4 minutes and 2 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner, by way of knockout, Carlos the Nightmare Prates. Alright, gentlemen. You got your final instructions in the locker room. Protect yourself at all times, and obey my commands. Would you like to touch gloves? Good luck. Oh, wow, okay, absolutely no touch of gloves there. No touching at all. The bad blood is real. Neil Magny better be ready, because Carlos Prates is fired up. Prates got right in his grill yesterday at the ceremonial weigh-in face-offs, and when I talked to Magny afterward, he said, okay, good. Usually I have to dig deep to find a reason to dislike somebody, but he just gave it to me. He felt a massive amount of disrespect there from Prates. Prates is in the blue trunks as the heavy -800 betting favorite. Magny is sporting the black. The corner of Magny is loudly yelling, here comes the left hand. Watch out for that straight left. And we know that is his absolute sniper weapon, but it's far from his only weapon. There goes Magny, plunging straight in for the takedown away. Prates has shown tremendous takedown defense so far in his UFC career. Can he pull it off against the legendary gatekeeper? Magny pulls guard. No sweat. He knew Magny wanted this on the mat, landing right on top, as Magny closes up the guard. Honestly, Magny might not have a single problem operating from the bottom here instead of standing at range with a guy who is so lethal and dynamic on the feet like that. Yeah, but you never actively choose to be on your back against Prates. No way. And I feel like Prates is the exact type of guy who, in a split second, is just going to unleash a furious ground and pound combination. I mean, watch those elbows. He generates so much devastating power, even from inside. The closed guard of Magny here. He is dangerous everywhere. Well, Prates was trying to post and escape, but Magny has pulled him right back down, desperately wanting to keep this fight grounded. And you've got to be extremely careful in Magny's guard. He's got those long limbs and can wrap up a submission real quick, but look at that. Back to their feet. Prates successfully passes the first major test of the evening. That's a really smart tactical sequence, though, from Neil Magny. He shoots for the takedown right off the whistle, and even though they ended up back on the feet, it completely slowed down the reckless, aggressive approach of Carlos Prates. The clinch trip attempt from the cage wall was unsuccessful, but Magny stays glued to his hips, hunting him down. And Magny is throwing everything he has into this grinding pace right now. The striking output from Prates hasn't been very high just yet. He hasn't really thrown much volume. He's allowing Magny to kind of dictate exactly where this chess match is taking place. It's a clever way to try to tire Prates out. Magny goes straight back in for the clinch on him. Prates needs to explode and snap out of this cage control a little bit. Magny needs to be careful with his head placement there, but he is going to relentlessly work this single leg. Look at the incredible balance of Prates. Prates is going to be looking to redig his underhook here. I mean, it has been all Neil Magny in this round so far. Prates is primarily spending his energy defending. He's got to turn off the defensive mindset. He's got to escape that suffocating position. He's got to do some real offensive work if he wants to win this frame. There were moments in that early Trevin Giles fight where it looked exactly like this, right? Where the control sequences didn't last super long, but there were glimpses where you could clearly see, maybe this grinding cage clinch is not Prates' favorite position to be put in. This has been an incredibly smart, veteran game plan so far from Neil Magny. But remember, Prates unleashed that laser-like straight left hand against Li Jingliang back in August, and he can change a fight in a heartbeat. Yeah, you see, he is looking to separate and stalk him down now. Now he's going to work. Another desperate takedown attempt from Neil Magny. Prates stuffs it completely, stuffed him and goes on the attack. There's that predatory approach when he starts cutting off the cage wall. That's exactly what he's going to do for the finish. That's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about. He unloads a brutal short elbow. Watch him back up. Magny is looking a bit wobbled, I think. His equilibrium is shot. Still over a minute left in the round. It was a lightning quick elbow from Prates that sat him right down, I believe. And now he is going to work for the kill. Yeah, he gets Magny tracking going back up against the fence. This man's striking is just terrifying, completely ruthless. There's another massive hook, also put right behind the ear. That caught the absolute sweet spot. 1 minute left to go in the opening round. Can Magny somehow survive this onslaught? He is still operating on incredibly weak legs, it appears. Yeah, a looping right hook connects, followed instantly by a heavy teep to the body. Wow, a veteran tactical move right there by Magny. He desperately snatches the leg the split second Prates gets in close. That's a nice, defensive snatch on the single leg to occupy the mind, and tie up the weapons of Prates from right here, giving Magny a quick second to collect himself. But Prates is just going to heavy stomp that leg straight down to the floor, breaking the grip of Magny completely, sliding that leg clean out, and they're back to space. He is back up, ladies and gentlemen. He is back on the hunt, ladies and gentlemen. Prates stalk him down, putting Magny right on the back foot again. Oh. He connected, and that completely leaves Magny done. I mean, there was absolutely zero wind-up on that devastating power shot in the pocket from them. Nightmare, who makes it a perfect 4-for-4 knockout wins in 2024 inside the UFC. And say hello to the most terrifying, dangerous welterweight contender in the top 15. Nobody dismantles Neil Magny like that. No, they absolutely don't. I've gotta say, I am sitting right here just completely stunned. John. My jaw is on the floor. I cannot think of a single better UFC debut year start than what we are witnessing. Right now, this is his signature game. He methodically puts guys on the fence, traps them, and executes. And on replay, it wasn't even a clean strike. It wasn't perfectly flush. The shot just kind of skimmed across the side of the head. What went wrong there? I mean, that angle always lands bad. It caught the temple. It was dead center on the temple, and every single time that temple gets touched, especially with the terrifying power of someone like Carlos Prates, your equilibrium goes out. Wow, representing his primary team at Vale Tudo Combat, and also training several times a week with the Fighting Nerds, Carlos Prates does it again. So, putting it together, the end comes officially at 4 minutes and 50 seconds of round number 1. Your winner by way of devastating knockout. Carlos, the nightmare, Prates.